we want to answer some questions that we asked a couple of you guys to ask us, and we're going to give them some answers while we're here. Finally, while we're here on our anniversary. So she's going to read the first one, then we rotate, and then we go from there. So.
All right, so the first one was, what made you realize that he or she was the one as an individual? I guess for me, it takes me back to 2010, where I had said this to him many times. I had a dream. I was on like the curve, and it was this bright light coming from the sky, and I felt like God told me like Anthony is the one. Then I mean, obviously I was only 16, he was only 18, and I'm thinking about that dream like, yeah, he's the one. Like moving forward, so many things happened, and we ended up splitting, going our separate ways, and then God brought us back together a few years after that. And it was really hard for me to be like, yeah, I'm gonna, marry him. And he kind of had to like gain my trust. And it was more so us being submissive in prayer, fasting, where I felt like God placed it in my heart, and many people from the church heart, to kind of reconfirm that like, yeah, he's the one, and kind of giving us their blessings, and they're okay for us to get married.
That was touching, babe. She saw me in a dream, yo.
I didn't see you in the dream.
You said it. You said you saw me in a dream with light.
No, I said it was a bright light coming from the sky, and it was God talking to me, saying that you were the one. You wasn't in my dream. It was just me, God, and that bright light.
Dang, that's dope, yo. Like God spoke to her in a dream, saying, "This is my son, whom I've chosen." No, that's dope. For me, it was like, yeah, definitely. I think in the beginning, we're dating, getting to know each other, and kind of, that's what really dating is for, is kind of seeing, at least that's how I look at it, like dating. And for everyone watching, this is how I encourage you guys to kind of consider dating, is, really trying to discern, right? Figure out if the person you're talking to is meant for you to live life with, and I believe in the blessings of marriage, and as imperfect people coming together, but it's under an umbrella of a perfect God that created it. So for me, it was probably after we split, and I'm like, man, we're not getting back together. But she never left my heart. And to me, it makes sense. And I tell people this all the time, where you really find the one when like that individual's, their well-being is connected to your contentment. And so like, to me, I wanted her to live a fruitful life, to have peace, to do well in life. And it was just like never going away. And I came to a point where it was just like, maybe I'm supposed to be a part of this path to help assist in that, right? Because her well-being was tied to like me being content in life. And so I think that's when it made sense for me, and that's when I started pursuing Brittany again. And like she said, like I had to earn her trust, especially after the time we were separated. But here we are, celebrating 5 years of marriage, 6 years together since then.
7
since then, and then some time before that, just dating. So yeah, what's the second question? All right, second question. When the time came for you guys to move in together, how did you get used to that partnership living together? How did you feel it should be? Well, so that is a really good question. I think for me, going into it, we kind of like set our expectations early on. Like just simple things that kind of like became culture for our family. Like we don't have a TV in our room because we wanted to build communication with each other and just spend that time. Now we got 3 children, so maybe we should reconsider and put a TV in our room.
No, we got no space.
So it's stuff like that. And then like just simple things like, what chores or responsibilities around the house that I'm gonna be in charge of or responsible for. And the same thing for Brittany. Like we talk those things out, and years later, it's we're still operating in that, and it's not like with anger or bitterness, no, because it's like we set the expectations of how we wanted to do that, and I felt like that was a way to prep us for that. So yeah, I think that was helpful in us transitioning into living together, because we were able to set our expectations early before we moved in.
We were always really honest with what we liked to do, what we didn't like to do. Like for instance, I don't like washing dishes. I be getting my nails done, and I always told him like, I ain't gonna mess them up. So he does that, and we always split the house as well. Like I will always take like the top, he will take the bottom. And I mean now it's a little different because now our house is huge, so it's more so we help each other out. Like he'll do a little bit, I'll do a little bit. If I see that he didn't finish something, I'll finish it, or if I didn't finish it, he'll do it. But we were always very clear with our expectations, and we were very honest. And one thing about it is that if we don't like something, we say it right there. Like, hey, like, I mean, sometimes it comes out harsh on my end. He says I'm like really rough and aggressive, which I'm working on. But
that's that Latina spice. All right, cut.
I lost my train of thinking now. Third question. I was about to say second question. Third question. What are things I can implement to always grow a stronger bond with your spouse, to keep it energizing as the first day? I'll say, like, from the beginning, he always did like opening my door. He will surprise me with flowers. He will like plan a trip without me knowing, like for instance, New York. I gave him my ideas. He put it all together, reservations, the time, and I mean, he did everything. And for me, it was just like, cool, I'm gonna just lay back and just go along with the flow. I guess the same things you did to win her, continue to do that. To don't stay how can I say, comfortable and like, yeah, I already got her, she's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
No, like always do the same thing you did to win her, continue to do it, because I mean, as a female, we grow and we're constantly changing. I feel like us females change more than a male because our body changes when, we're carrying a baby, then after, during, like all of that takes into place. And I feel like a female, since she is always, changing, not saying a man doesn't change, because they do change, but for us is more. And I just feel as though you guys need to always do more since we change more. Yeah,
it's kind of like on the same note, like, you continue to do those things that kind of help win her over or him over. You continue to date each other. That should be a priority. And I think especially when children come into the picture, like right now,
that's a big one.
We're missing our kids, but it's essential for us to be able to take time away and spend personal time with each other. Talk about, our expectations for our families, our goals, dreams, and communicate it, and then how we can support each other in that, I think is essential. But yeah, man, I think, continuing to date your spouse, continuing to, especially when someone gets married, like you continue that dating process, the same things that you were doing in the beginning. But then I think even more so when you get to learn more about who they are, because that's what I think this is a process of just like getting to know that person. And then I think you figure out a little bit more about yourself in the process too. And so, yeah, figure out the things that work, but don't work, and be intentional about growing into a deeper intimacy with your significant other. Yeah.
All right, fourth question. How has the transition from 1 to 3 children have been?
Aren't you supposed to answer that first?
Oh, okay. Well, I read the other one.
Okay.
But I'll answer it.
Okay.
Or you would answer it.
You mean I'll start? So like, yeah, that's I jokingly tell people that I haven't slept since like 2018, and it gets challenging because, again, you have more responsibility, more dependent lives that need things, and you need to turn your attention to them, and it happened quick, how fast our family grew. Yeah, I won't say it's easy. It's not easy at all. But they are everything to us. We love our family. We love our children. And I think for us, we look at it more as a privilege to be, I know for me, for a fact, like I look at it more as a privilege to be able to father our children, and to raise them, young people and children that could be influenced by you to influence the world. I think is awesome. But it has been a challenge for sure, because now, we have a 7-year-old going to 8, she's like a preteen. Then we got a 2-year-old who's super smart but bossy. And then we have a 1-year-old who's like already starting to talk and move around and stuff like that. So it's a challenge for sure. But I think, again, like going back to like as far as expectations of who does what and how can we support each other is kind of like the same thing, right? Like I don't expect my wife to shower the children, every day, all day. Sometimes we would split. Like I would take my son a shower. She would take our youngest daughter a shower. Or sometimes it's like we rotate. We all change Pampers. Wake up in the middle of the night for one of them. Stuff like that. Like make sure that it's even and it's not like one of us is being overburdened. So I think as long as there's like those expectations communicated up front and how you're going to support each other, I think that makes a world of a difference. Not saying that it's easy, but it can be easier when there's those lines communicated.
I think you covered everything.
All right. I felt like I did. Talked a lot. All right, last one. What's the main thing each of you had to improve about yourselves when you got married to each other? All right, so you can start that one off.
I had to improve, and I'm gonna be very transparent, my attitude. I felt like, and he tells me, he was like, was you like raised and always like fighting as a young kid? And I'm like, yeah, I was always fighting as a young kid, because my mom always told me, your brothers and sisters fight, you fighting, because if not, I'm gonna hit you for not defending them when they fighting. I mean, come on,
She knows Jesus now, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But not saying I was ever fighting with my husband, but meaning more of like I had a hard time like having him lead me, because I always felt like, no, this is how I want it, this is what I'm saying it's gonna be, and then that's it. And God gave me a rude awakening, like that's not what marriage is. Like, it's not just, you know, one person leading, and then the other one not being submissive, and vice versa. Like, I would sometimes take lead and he would follow, and then, you know, sometimes, most of the time, he would take the lead and I will follow. And I had to really just be very submissive to my husband. And not saying that I didn't have an opinion, because, I mean, everybody knows me. Brittany always got an opinion, always got something to say. But I had to also tone it down, and kind of fix my attitude a little bit. I fixed my attitude.
Work in progress. But I think we all are, right? Like, I know for me, like, I had to kind of like the same way, like, you know, man, I got used to like doing things a certain way, and you know, especially like before us moving into with each other, and so I had to be open, right, to being able to hear someone else's way of thinking and way of doing life.
Wait, I just thought about something.
What?
When you used to leave the shower curtain open, and I used to be like, this is how it goes. And you know what? I actually did that one time recently to kind of reprogram you.
Yeah. So like those little things, like just being more listening. Like, I think, and not just listening because I heard you, but understanding and looking to apply, right? Like, so I had to help myself to be more open to her suggestions, her, you know, because I felt like that helped just the way of maintaining peace in our home with each other, is being able to understand one another. And I think it is important to communicate your concerns, communicate the things that you don't like or you like. I think it's very important, but I think it's also equally important to listen to someone else and apply that. I think there's a Quaker quote that said, to listen to someone is as if you're offering them love, because you're able to listen to their soul, right? And you're giving them attention. And so, yeah, I mean, I felt like what I had to work on, what I'm working on, is being able to hear her out, respect her position, and look to apply that. So, but that was all the questions we had, right?
Well, all the questions you're going to answer.
That we're going to answer. But we appreciate you guys for sending those in. Hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and we'll tune in next time.